time. So what that means is today you will not have connections class. Tomorrow you will have double connections class. You will be in connections all of block 1. So tomorrow, when you would come to me right now, don't come to me, go to connections. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. I will remind you tomorrow when you forget. No math tomorrow.
Are we getting block A and block B with 1A, 1B with you?
Tomorrow you'll be with 8th graders, but today you're with me up until lunch. You're in here till lunch.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, and we're gonna have time to work on. We'll have time to check our progress. Yeah, Elijah. Sorry you had your name.
Let's go.
Right, get to work. Right. All right. So let's talk about what we're doing today. You should be looking at Schoology. And for our main page, I should really either get rid of that or like copy paste it to all of these. Because inside of these folders are just our units. So each of the unit folders will have like the stuff listed on this list. Our current unit, which I decided to color code with orange. I don't know if it was your class that I complained that I didn't like the colors up there. Click into here. If you have not clicked into there yet, click into there. I'm going to wait a moment because I see some people still getting logged in. Clayton, what are you doing? I don't know either, but... Yes.
When I was going to get water, Dr. Flynn talked to me, and he might come get me during
That's
like
fine.
1B.
That's fine. He can also radio if he needs you. Because, yeah, if he knows that you're with me. All right, so... As we go today, keeping this decimal place value chart like available in front of you would be convenient. Notice that I make my Schoology a little bit different, where a lot of things I make folders. So click on this picture.
I love math antics.
Hold on. Just do what I'm doing right now, okay? Click on that folder. Notice that if you click on that folder, it looks like it kind of disappears. Look up here where it says see more. Click that and it will show again. Or you could just look at it from back here in the folders. So like Jackson was just saying, I also uploaded some math antics videos related to exactly what we're doing today. So if you are struggling on the practice, these kind of go together, these two videos. Yeah, he says the bad word. He doesn't know that the E word is a bad word in this room. So, we'll forgive him because he just doesn't know. If I met him and told him, then I could be upset that he said it. But yeah, then converting fractions back to decimals. Yep, more bad words. Because he shows us the easier ways to do things. He just doesn't say the part of it. But actually, the first thing we're going to do today, you guys might start thinking is E-word. Hey, we're not watching those videos right now, though. So sorry to burst your bubble. You can watch those videos on your own time. This chart is amazing. Click on it and then hit see more.
Wait, where is it?
You see, you should have been paying attention, not trying to do your own thing. Scroll down the page, Jackson. For all of our basic fractions, and by basic I mean with one on top, it gives us a visual. It gives us a bunch of equivalent fractions. It gives us the decimal form. And it gives us the percent form, because we're working towards getting to our percents. So what's really interesting that we'll talk about more as we get to it today in class, the sevenths, this is not quite true. Okay, I'm telling you, this is rounded. This is the one issue that I have with this table, but I think they didn't want to confuse you. The 7th is rounded. The 9th, you guys know what this little bar means? Actually, the 3rd uses it also. The 6th uses it also. It's what? Infinity is the little sideways 8. I know what you mean. It keeps going on forever. So guys, whatever number in decimal places is under that little bar, anyone know what it's called? It starts with an R.
Repeating decimal.
It has a one-word name. It is a repeating decimal, but the bar has a name. It's called the repetend. So the repetend tells us that goes on, keeps repeating that 3. But guys, be careful. Down here, what's the repetend over top of? Just the 6. The 1 does not repeat forever. Now here, this was one of the best resolution tables that I could find. they forgot, there should be, and you can't like write on your computer, but there should be a repetend over the 0 and the 9 on the 11ths, because it just keeps repeating 09090909 forever. Right? So this table, it's good resolution, it's pretty good, it's just not perfect. Okay, so we want to make sure we keep our brains turned on. So you can keep, you don't need this yet. Oh, yeah. I'm doing that. You can keep this table in front of you as we're working, but now we're switching over to pencil and graph paper. So go ahead and push that computer towards the front of your desk so you're not tempted to be trying to do anything on it. All right, so I'm going to trust that you guys have this up to help me out. We do not, right now, go past the 10,000ths place, but what would be the next decimal place value here? Major, do you know? Oh, this is going to confuse me that I've moved where you guys are sitting, so bear with me as I call on Major, look a different direction, and then realize Major's over here. Do you know what would come after thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths? We are not going that far right now, though. So as far as you need to go for your practice, this table covers it. Okay, so what I want you to write down on your paper, by the way, reminder, email me. If you need grades changed, email me. We will. Yeah, we're not switching to B-side. All right. So I forgot, I put the table up here too, so we can all reference it. But you can have it in front of you so you can look at it. We name, like we say, go ahead actually, because I'd rather you be back at your table. We give decimals their name based on where they stop. So does anyone remember doing this last year? And is anyone able to help me out? I know a lot of us would look at this and say 0.1846. Hey guys, don't make me erase that board. Class is up here. A lot of us would look at that decimal. Go ahead and write that on your paper. 0.1846, but that's not the appropriate name. 0.1846. Go ahead and put that on your paper, probably like the top left of your paper to keep some space. And put an equals, because we're going to turn that into a fraction. 0.1846. But that's like a nickname that isn't really the right. Like, we have a friend that we call Jams. Anyone know what Jams' name is? Anyone want to guess? It's actually Jimmy, right? So Jimmy, our friend Jimmy, we call him Jams. I don't know why. His nickname just happened at some point, probably from basketball or something. But yeah, so Jimmy we call Jams, but that's not his real name. So 0.1846, fine, nickname, whatever. But we need, what is the real name of this decimal? Jackson, you want to help me out?
0.1.
That's what I just said, man.
Wait, 1. I forgot how to read them.
So should I help you guys out with one and then we start trying to ask you to do the practice? We name. Ooh. You want to try?
Yeah. 0.1846 10,000.
So don't say the point. If we're saying decimals and fractions by their right names, we don't say point. We just literally say, what number is this number? 1,846. What decimal place did it end at? Yeah, we should be writing this down. Those of you who are already writing it down without me asking, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What decimal place did it end in? If we need to check,
10,000.
10,000ths. So that tells me my denominator is 10,000. The appropriate name, the right name for that decimal is 1,846 10,000ths. Questions?
No.
And that's the entirety of one of your practice assignments. which you'll probably get done before you walk out of this room. Try this one with your partner, with your neighbor. So write it down first, because think about it while you're writing it down. I will write it down slightly bigger. What is the number that we actually see? Where does it end? You can go to the next one. Do we need to say that 0? Like after the decimal, or either of the, do we need to say either of those for the appropriate name?
Not really.
Not really.
But the 0 still means something.
It is important, but when we go to say its name, we don't need to talk about it. So a trick I came up with is I like to underline 1 for the first spot, 2 for the second, 3 for the third, 4 for the fourth, just to like help me count how far out we are. So Lakin, what is the number that we see? What's going to become our numerator? Yeah, 346. But be careful, where do we end at? Sorry guys, I got cards now. Elias, what would our denominator be? Where do we end? Hey Jimmy, could you stop doing that? Just I can't focus. Thanks, bud. That fourth, well, check the reference, right? We've got this. I think that's what we pulled up here so we can see it, unless our computer dead. So when we said come back to first. So what's the name of that fourth place? 10 thousandths. So that's what our denominator is going to be, because we ended in the fourth place. Right, if I bump this over, will it move the whole thing? Our 0 was in the 10th place. Our 3 was in the hundredths. Our 4 was in the thousandths. Our 6 was in the 10 thousandths. If I bump over everything else. Questions on why this is 346 10 thousandths. Tommy? Clayton?
I don't get it.
Go to Desmos.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah, open up a new tab. I love that we got plenty of time today. Open up a new tab. And while we're getting to that new Desmos, let's go check in with Math Antics and see if watching one of the videos I posted might help you.
Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to Math Antics. In this video, we're going to learn about decimal place value. As that name suggests, it's related to regular place value. So be sure to watch our video about that if you haven't already. In that previous video, we learned how to count using just 10 different digits and number places that represent different size groups.
Sorry, I gotta pause this or I'm gonna get slapped with some copy. Probably be a bad idea. I would throw that away at this point. Yes. All right, my challenge for you is who can be creative with this. But first, I just need some help naming, like helping me out, fill in these boxes. So Elias, can you help me out with what I would put for how many tenths are shown by this number, how many hundredths, how many thousandths? You would help me out? So, so this is the tenths place. So we know 4 tenths, 2 hundredths, and you said 5 thousandths. So we try, and it shows it to us, fills in a tenth, another tenth, we get 4 tenths, 2 hundredths, and 5 thousandths. I can't use cards for the next thing I need to ask because I need a volunteer who got creative and figured out another way you could talk about this. Like, I can't. Hands keep going up and then down. I don't know what's going on. Lakin, we're doing the wave. Ooh, Lakin says 1/10, 31 hundredths. And then 15. 10, 20, 31. Huh. Nice. Jackson. What if I put a 0 here? What if I say no tenths? Owen? So if I look at no tenths, and guys, we're doing this like a little bit weird for a minute to kind of reinforce why we do our decimal system like we do. Lakin, are you going to help me out with if I had 0 to... Ooh, Caroline, 0 tenths. You want to help me on this one? So I'm going to go ahead and do 42 hundredths. If I try to grab both of those numbers, 42 hundredths. So then how many thousandths? We'd still have 5. Guys, look up here real quick. Watch what's going to happen. If instead of wanting to do the entire tenths at the same time, if I look at the individual squares, they are the hundredths. I could fill in 42 hundredths and 5 thousandths and get to the same value. But what would be simpler if we all agreed that we're going to do 4, 2, 5, or we all just make up our own way? What would be simpler? Lakin, are you trying to give me another option? No? 0 tenths, 0 hundredths, and 425 thousandths. Hey, look, 425 thousandths. This is why we name our numbers like we do, because you could say 4 tenths, 2 hundredths, and 5 thousandths. I already did that, so I think it's mad at me since I already tried it. You could say them separately, but it's kind of silly when I could just say, like Lakin just said, oh yeah, we have 425 thousandths. That's where we end. Jackson?
Could you do 40 hundredths and 25 thousandths?
Yes, looks like we can.
I was thinking that.
All right, so I'm pausing this for a second because let's practice some more, like together. Write down this one, 0.1019, but that's not how we say it correctly. You can hang on to that if you can also do your math at the same time. So pencil, we're writing down a new one. 0.1019, and that's just its nickname. Talk with your neighbor about what the number we see is, and then what our denominator should be. You guys gonna chat with each other? Or am I gonna come in and chat? Well, that's a skill to work on. That's one of the things that we're doing at school is working on other skills, not just math or science, but life skills.
I'm on the 9th level, 11th side, and then all right.
Nice. Alright, so the number that we see after the decimal, if Lakin's going to be proud, you just do his own thing. What's the number that we see after the decimal? Aren't there 4 digits there?
119.
I don't know that it's 119. This right here. How do we say this number? 119. What's bigger than that? What's bigger than 1,000? 1,000. What would the denominator be? What spot do we end in? it just thousandths?
10,000s?
Elijah, help me out. What's the number that we see after the decimal? 1019. Ooh, he stole the second part of the question too. And we end in that fourth decimal place. That fourth decimal place tells us put that over 10,000. Questions? All right, let's try another. I think I only got one more of these before we try it. Now there's a number in front of the decimal. Talk with your partner about how we write this as a mixed. As we write this as a mixed number. Like your dad's probably? Do you think he wants you to color in the numbers? Like I'm just asking because I know my dice. I like to keep them clean. I know. I like to keep them clean. So I don't know if we should really be coloring on our die. And we have things we need to write on the paper. So if this die is distracting you one more time, I'm going to have to take it because our priority has to be doing math. That's probably a really good choice to put the distraction away. So we got 4.67. We're going to write that down. Dude, your calculator's not going to help you here because I'm about to take it away.
Oh, that was smooth.
You don't need calculators for this. You need to think and use the references that I've given to you.
That was smooth, Mr. Hudson.
4.67 is not its actual name. That's just a nickname. I like to give my 7 a bow tie. So, when we go to deal with a number that has the decimal in the middle of numbers, we're now going to make it mixed. Right? So we're going to have 4 and... You still have it written down what I asked you to write down. 4.67 is what we're writing down and working on right now. So when we say this by its actual name... Jimmy, help me out. What's the number that we see after the decimal? Because we already wrote down the 4. What's this number? 67. And what decimal place does that end in, Josh? The hundredths. So that's going to be 4 and 67 hundredths. Questions on that one? All right, I think we are ready to switch gears and go the other. One more. I bet we can do this real quick. I don't even know that I need to give you guys time. Reese, quick, from on your trip. No, I'm joking. All right, so what are we going to write down on its own, Jackson? What do we write down first?
7.71 equals.
Ooh, well, hold on. Sorry, I was going to jump right to the answer, but I appreciate you making me slow. 7.71. Okay. Sure, you can bring it home if you want.
7,100.
Just 7,100s?
Oh, 7 and 7,100.
7 and, right, we're also practicing saying this right. 7 and 71 hundredths. You name it by what place does it end in, right? What place do we end in? Is it the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths? Questions?
No.
Perfect timing, Clayton. We're ready to switch gears and go the other way around. Please write down 11/25 on your paper. 11 over 25. Which, again, that would be a nickname, right? Like 11 over 25, that would be a nickname.
11/25.
So the real name is 11/25, but we're being asked to put this into its decimal form. My guy's like, I only want to spend about 20 minutes more teaching, and I want to give you the last 20 minutes to work on your practice. But I can only do that if we're like all doing what I'm asking at the same time, so I don't have to wait and don't have to awkwardly stare at people. So 11 over 25, hopefully you remember the top numbers are numerator, the bottom numbers are denominator. Now what you might forget, because it took me a while of practice to remember this and figure out, here's my trick for setting up division. The numerator the numerator goes on the inside of the symbol. The denominator is knocking on the door. It's like outside. Numerator goes inside, denominator goes outside. So we could set up division, numerator inside, denominator outside. Who can help me do long division? Because I haven't done this in a while. Like your card came up like a couple times while you were in the hall, so this is perfect. Thank you. Well, help me through. Sure. What color do you want?
I guess yellow.
Yellow.
Purple.
Oh.
Okay, purple. Sure.
Purple you won't do a C. You want like white or light blue, yellow? Okay. Alright. You gotta talk at the same time.
Okay, so, well, we know that 25 can't go on 11, so we have to do the 0, 0. So how about we add a 0 and do,
So hold up. Any questions for why Clayton put those zeros there?
No.
He said 25 cannot go into 11 because that's what we're asking. How many 25s can go into 11? Or like how many 25s can come out of 11 is also another way to say it. It can't. It doesn't work. Questions?
No.
Okay. Clayton, continue.
okay, so we know that 25 times 4 is 100.
So how many 25s can come out of 110? He's looking at that number like it's 110. You can go ahead. I'm just making sure they understand what you're saying, like why you're doing it. Now wait a minute. Are we subtracting 110 or are we only subtracting 100? My smart board's different
Oh, okay.
because I have it so I can record. So, pause. Clayton said, I can get 4 25s out of 110. So we put the 4 up here. We subtract by 100. We bring down what we have left. Questions? Clayton, keep going.
Okay, so 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1, so then 1 minus 1 is 0, so we have that. So we bring down the 0, and we do it again.
Technically, you should have written another 0
Oh wait,
here, right? Because if you're going to bring it down, we got to, and let's extend this out.
So we do it again, then 4, which we know that 25 times 4 is 100. Again, sorry, it's getting really
Dude,
small.
there's a slider on the right side of the screen. You can slide,
What is that?
like on a web page.
Oh, okay. Sorry guys, I'm slow. So then we do that. So we do 25 times 4, which is 100. And then we minus 100 minus 100, that's 0. And our answer is 0, 0.25. Any questions? Okay. Good job. Thank you.
Good job, Tommy.
For a moment, well, no, let me show you the other way, and then I'm just going to let you practice con for like 10 minutes and practice the skills we just talked about. Then we'll come back together a little bit and then do more con. So, I don't know about you. I don't think I'm as good at math as Clayton. I probably shouldn't put that in a recording because they pay me to teach math. I don't like long division. I really don't. So you have another option because our system that we're operating in is called a base 10 system. Anyone want to make a guess why we chose base 10? I don't really know exactly, but my hunch, how many fingers do we have? So if I'm showing somebody I need 4, or I need 9, or I need, but then, and actually in sign language, you can count to really, really high numbers with just your two hands, because then it's like you do something to represent how many tens, you do something to represent how many hundreds. But base 10, literally meaning the bottom. I want the bottom number to be 10. Or if I can't do 10, 100. Or if I can't get to 100, 1,000. Or if I can't get the bottom number to 1,000, what about 10,000? And we just keep going by tens. So, our other option, if you don't want to do long division, could I turn 25 into 10?
Yes.
Easily. I guess I should have said. Can I turn 25 into 10? Or do I want to keep going up in my bases? Which would be easier? Try to make 25 10 or try to make 25 100?
100.
That's easier. You should write this on your paper because this is the easier way. Guys, make sure you give yourself space so you can go back and look at your paper. How do I turn 25 into 100? Jackson?
You timed it by 4. So then you timed 11 by 4.
So if I'm doing that on bottom, that means I'm doing the same on top. What's 11 times 4?
44.
And then what number did we just get? If we say it correctly, what is this number?
4,400.
And what was the answer Clayton had gotten?
4,400.
So I can just write, that equal sign's a little,
That was so stupid.
44 hundredths.
Whoa!
If you can get the base to a 10, a 100, a 1,000. So what I want you guys to do right now is hop into Khan, go to the rewriting decimals as fractions.
You're a wizard.
Go to rewriting decimals as fractions. That's what we practiced first. That's what I want you to work on for the next few minutes. Rewriting decimals as fractions. So con, again, you might need to close, like if you got an extraneous tab, if you got a tab that's not necessary. Rewriting decimals as fractions, right? The thing due to that. I lost my streak too. Wait, you didn't do math for 7 days?
No, you didn't lose. No, it resets on every month. Like it says, like that happens on every month.
Oh, so you haven't done it for this week, is what you're saying. So do an assignment. I bet it reactivates your streak.
Yeah, it will be back to
Man,
38.
stupid internet.
I
I hate the spinny circle.
I bookmarked it when I was loading. Just stuck loading to the side so I couldn't log in. Stuck loading.
Interesting. Maybe we should bookmark this page.
Yeah, so
Now let's replace our bookmark.
see that.
Oh.
Do you want to help? Because I know what you're trying to do. Hold on, you got it right there. I think you did. Or did you tell it bookmarks bar? Yeah, bookmarks bar. Either way, let's just get on.
Boy,
We can just do bookmarks.
now it's not stuck loading.
I'd use it a lot on internet to be loaded 24/7. We decided to take a pause and practice that first activity. Do you have the other homeworks done already?
Just working on decimals.
No, on for a minute. The one
Wait,
that we
Mr.
were just
Hudson.
practicing decimals to fractions. We're going to take a pause and practice that while we were doing it. I have no idea.
I was just gonna keep him in here for that.
Sure,
and then
absolutely.
I'll have him work with me later during stuff. Oh no, I messed it up. Just
Alright.
because he needs math.
So let's go rewriting decimals. Whoa. No, we're going what we just practiced today. I know you got decimal work. Rewriting decimals and fractions challenge. Because that's what we were just practicing.
Mr. Hudson, put this as a fraction. Okay, so might need to put you.
Oh, so you just found one on your homework that we did together in class?
Yeah.
Huh. It's almost like if you take notes during class, it's helpful. I was just, for a second, I thought that went to 5 decimal places. And I looked at all the questions you guys might have, and I swear, none of them should go to 5 decimal places. We should only have to go 4 decimal places.
Well, it's, even though it's 5 decimal places, it's still doable.
Doable.
It's still
Avoiding the E word.
It's still not that hard. See, I didn't say the E word, did I?
I appreciate that.
Vamos.
Yeah, decimal to fraction. I was just about to check if everyone's on the right assignment.
We did it. Mr. Hudson already completed it.
Nice.
And we street. You're not better than anyone. We're all the same.
Oh, we're definitely not all the same. I don't know if I can say
Nobody's
that.
better than somebody.
Well, you are correct with that statement, but I wouldn't say we're all the same. Doing okay? I want a little bit of help.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. If you go to here, you go to the
What is the
look at how many points this gives you. 200,000, 250,000. And if you really
You have to say it the right way.
how many badges do you have? How many badges?
No.
So it's got 4
Okay, so here.
numbers, right?
Yeah.
So if it was just 335,
So let's go back.
335, right? Just 335 would be
I'm so short. I have 60.
4,000. So I typed that in 4,000. Now it's slash for your fraction. What should the denominator be?
Yeah, it took me about
Place in it and
Remain a member of contact with GAUS or LPN and other member of contact here.
But Jimmy, be careful.
But you don't have
I think I slid it over here. Do not hit enter yet. Go back to your Schoology page. I closed it, did I? I closed it. So Jimmy, if we go back to this table, what's that 4th decimal place called? 10,000.
I'm a 4. I just need 50,000 points on all the avatars besides the ones that besides Winston and.
Hey Jackson, we're focusing on getting our work done, okay? You guys can talk about avatars outside of class.
Okay.
So guys, I get it. I'm kind of old in how I think about I should make handouts. But I'm realizing a lot of us don't hang on to our handouts or at least don't get them back out. My hope is that by putting this stuff on Schoology, you can have this open in a tab and Khan open in a tab and kind of bounce back and forth when you need to double check if you're doing stuff right. That 4th decimal place should be as far as we go. That 4th decimal should be as far as we go. I think we're flowing over there.
Let's see. I doubt it.
This one's gonna be tough.
McGill, please come to the Perry office. Taylor McGill, please come to the Perry office.
I love that.
Right, rewriting decimals and fractions. This is what we were just
12 is by itself.
Alright, so when we have a whole number, I think we're going to start by just typing the whole number by itself. Right, so when you're going to type it, we need to make sure we have space out. Because we would say 6 and please ignore, I don't know who's trying to call me.
I don't know. It's safe right now.
Alright, so we're saying 6 and.
How is it like the last number? Like, is it 12 and 12? How would they write it?
like 12 space and then 28 slash.
Okay, just
Yeah.
space. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, this is also why I was glad when Kabilo asked me about them blocking. If you're having any questions about how to type things in Khan, please ask. If it's a mixed number, you need to put a space between the whole number and the fraction.
Okay, now this one.
So if it's
This
6,
is fraction.
right, to make sure you put a space between 10 and the whole
How
number.
many places are
So how do we point
What's
is
the last
how do we say 0.83 the right?
how many numbers do you have?
So we don't remember 83 what? Which spot does it end? Does it end at the first decimal spot? It ends at the second decimal spot, right? What's the second decimal place called?
Seven, yes.
Oh, the second. The first one was the tenths. What's the next? So the first decimal. So you have 6.83. Yeah. So this is the tenths spot, but our number ends here in the hundredths spot. So we would name that 83 hundredths. Does that make sense? Because when it goes to that second spot, I'm trying to say spot and place at the same time. When it ends in that second place, so that's 83. And because that's what the denominator is in that table, it's 8300. Hold on. So 11 is say 6 and plus 83 hundredths. So we're going to type that. We're going to set this up like a fraction.
Okay, so
So
then
we
it's
need
20 from
83
that other
over
four times, okay? Alright,
But
this one.
no decimals right now. We're switching to mixed numbers. So just using fractions. Right? So if you want to very similar to we use our slash right here. Next one shift. That slash. So we turn this into a fraction. And as long as we have that space. Right? So we space that out. So this saying 6 and 7.
Yeah, 6 1.
We said 6 and 83. So this is trying another one. So this doesn't have a number out front. So we're just looking at the value at the decimal. What number is half the decimal?
Write it by itself before the decimal. And then 2.
Yeah, so that's what we start typing. We type that in first. So we would type in 8,342. Literally just type that in. 8,342.
Yeah, thousands.
But then we
So
have
that's how we would write it as a fraction.
then we have to say what is the amount or in one bottom. What place did it end? 10,000. So that's going to be our denominator. Yeah. So you don't need that comma. I think that's obvious. How would we say this?
This one is bigger than this, so that one would work.
No. So what's the first one? So we're gonna say 4 and
Over here, I do. Okay, this is confusing, and
please.
explain to me what you're confused about. It is confusing. Why is he said what you did?
Put them together.
I just want to figure that out.
Yeah. What place does it end? What place does it stop?
So, if we look at this fraction here, how do we figure out?
Hundreds.
You have a
You want to type that?
you don't have a
You want to type 67
figure out how to make
hundredths.
a fraction into a
All right, shove those Chromebooks to the front of your table. Shove those Chromebooks to the front of your table.
Yo!
Impropers. Go ahead and on your paper write down 19 fourths.
19 fourths.
Do you want to talk this one through with the class and have me go for a quick walk? Or do you, for how long?
I want to go for a walk. I told him to come back.
I didn't even, like, I was not aware when we left the room.
I'll give him like 1 minute.
Anyone have confidence of what I want to do first?
No, I do not.
Because I can just set up the long division, 4. Like, guys, you can always long divide. That'll always work. But I want to go over the other ways to make sure you know those. Any other hands, or am I going to have to start paying Jackson for as much as he's teaching? All right, Jackson, I'll double what you got paid last year.
I didn't
Go
get
ahead.
anything.
Exactly. Let's double nothing.
So what you do is you take 19 and you divide it by 4. And say like times 4 goes into 19, and then
Guys, pause. Because what you said is great. I want to make sure they heard you. Jackson said how many 4s can go into 19, or the other way to say it is how many 4s can get pulled out of 19. There is no shame in counting on your fingers. That's why we have them. Okay, there's other reasons like doorknobs and whatever. But 4, do it with me. Let's get over our self-consciousness. 4,
16,
8, 12, 16, 12. Nope, went too far. Put that back down. 4, 8, 12, 16. So, our first step, we have 4 as the whole number. And in my head or on your paper, I'd make a little note, yeah, that was 16. I'm going to minus 16 to figure out what I have left. What's 19 minus 16? 3. So we're going to get 4 and we keep that denominator. Guys, and how we say it,
I'm a bird. 4 and 3/4.
we say and, right? When we're splitting from how many wholes and how many partials, we split, we say and, right? 4 and 3/4. If you didn't write this down, you might want to because you're probably going to see it on your homework. There's like a 1/4 chance this problem's going to be on your homework that you look at in 5 minutes.
Yay! Hooray!
You just got back here. You got catching up to do. Same thing as the die. We need to put that away so it's not a distraction. So 19 over 4. So what is that? Okay, so 19 over 4.
Let's go, Jet. Let's go.
We said how many 4s can we pull out?
I'm level 11. Let's go. Oh no.
You guys want to try another one?
Yes, yes. Oh,
Because
fine.
what we're doing your homework. 13 tenths. Put it on your paper. 13 tenths. All right, you get this down. I just want to make sure you got it in case it's on your homework. All right, I need someone not Jackson. I will pick a volunteer or I will pick a card. I'm gonna have to start paying you, dude.
What does
Wait.
the card mean?
It helps me randomize. Funny enough, your card was next, so that's why. All right, Clayton.
I did 10 divided by 15.
So you set up the division,
Yeah.
and it's really 13 divided by 10, by the way.
Okay.
So the numerator goes inside, denominator goes outside. We can set up the long division,
But
or
well, wait.
okay,
So 13.
Jackson.
So 13
Or listen.
over 10. So it's already 10. So that's already 1 and 3.
So Clayton says 1/10 can come out of 13. Okay, so take it out. What's our remainder? 3. There we go. 1 and 3/10.
Oh yeah, I did that one.
But how do I write that as a decimal? Whoa! 1
Point.
and
That's
3/10. Right? We just need to switch it back. Once we know how to say it, we can figure out how to write it.
that's no talking privilege in 95 minutes.
57 over 5.
That's not gonna be
57.
That's gonna be
Hey,
hard.
hey, I need us to practice this because this one is not, like, this one has an extra step to it. I want to make sure that we talk about it before I have you guys practicing. So, let's do this all together. You can just shout out the answers. You can say it too. How many 5s can come out of 57?
11.
Ooh, we know 10, but it is actually 11 because what's 5 times 11?
55.
55. So we get 11 as our whole number. So we're thinking in our head, okay, minus 5. What's our remainder? 2
Fifth.
need to make this a decimal, right? Put it away. Get your pencil up. We're writing things. It's really obvious when both hands are below the table. Put it in your bag. I gave you another chance. It goes away for the rest of class. Okay? I'm being real clear with what the expectations are. 2/5, I need to figure out how to make into a decimal. Could 5, I see your hands. Could 5 turn into 10?
Yeah.
I don't even have to think about 100, 1,000. We can do 10. How does 5 turn into 10?
Times 2.
Times 2. So we do times 2.
4.
So it's 4/10. This turns into 11 and 4/10. Because that first spot is the 10th place. Questions?
Nope.
Pull up that second practice activity that's called converting fractions to decimals.
I already did that one.
Even if you're not done with the first one, I want us to practice a few problems while Mrs. Fisher and I can help you guys if you need. Converting fractions to decimals.
Yeah, there's just no problem with that.
Is ordering rationals
That was going to be tomorrow somewhere, but I'm not going to see you guys tomorrow, so I'd like you to try it today, tomorrow, whenever you get a chance.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
the small problem with me doing that is it's already done.
You could do it again if you really want to tell me that's a problem, or you can just do the next one.
Order rational numbers.
Sweet. So we got Con open over here, though, right? Let's go back to
I'm a party now.
another activity. So converting fractions to decimals. Practice this. Very good. So, okay, let's do this one then. We haven't done this one. You were out of the ring with the rest of them. We'll practice this because this is the first one. All this that we written down, that's what this is. Why don't you try the first one around and let me know if you want help. I'm going to pop over to me. I'm coming around.
It's not quite. It's too hard.
Because we said how many 4s can come out of 19? 4 of them.
And then there's 4
And then
left
we
over.
had 3 4s, but we still need to make that into a decimal. You know what 3 4s
See, 150 work if I need a scale.
But that.
I'm going to show something that I want to show the whole class.
Wait, if I get 50,000 points, I get the Benjamin Franklin.
Hey guys,
2 months ago.
yo, did we take this all the way to its decimal?
What?
No, because I didn't write it. We don't have a decimal here. But I want to show you why I gave you one of the things in your Schoology. This table, right? The base fraction, the starting fractions. We have 3/4, right? But from that table, what is 1/4 as a decimal? What is it? Just shout it out.
0.25.
0.25. So if I have 3/4, what could I do to this 0.25?
Times by 3, so it's 0.7.
We times it by 3, right? Because instead of just having 1/4, we have 3/4. What's 0.25 times 3? So this really turns into 4.75 because 3/4. And guys, slowly as we're doing this, you're gonna start to memorize these. We're not gonna do like you would do times table tests and stuff back in the day. It's just naturally gonna happen. The more you work with these, the more you're gonna memorize them. Okay, so the more that you try, the more that you practice, the more memory, or the more they will go into your memory. All right, keep trying, keep going. Hold on, I gotta go help Carolyn. She's been waiting. So what? 8 what? So what spot does it end in? Does it end in the 10th spot? That first one? Does it end in the 10th? Does it end in the second spot? Second. Yeah, second decimal place here, right? So the second decimal place gets the denominator of 100. So that's 4 and 8 hundredths. So to type that, without practice, that type 4 space with a 4 and then 8 slash to get that denominator set up. Then 100.
Yes.
You already had shown it that you knew a lot of that though. That's why it said no change on 4 skills, because it already knew that you were doing Hold on just a second. Hey, because I want to let you have the rest of class to work on con. The other assignment, the ordering rational numbers assignment. Hey, however quick I can go is how much time you're going to get on con. Here's my advice, and it's being recorded, so you can always go back to today's class video if you need a review of what we did. These numbers, they're often going to give to you in 2 or 3 different forms. Mixed, improper, decimal, right? You want to, unless you immediately say, oh, that's the smallest, I know that for sure, you want to get them to a common form. So either make them all fractions or make them all decimals. We're going to get to percents next week. We could also make all of these percents, but we don't need to yet. 1 and 1/3. If I don't know what 1/3 is, where could I go check? That table I gave you in Schoology, what's 1/3? 0.3 repeating. So when I'm doing this problem, okay, 1 and 1/3 is really 1.3 repeating. How do I write this as a decimal? This is improper, right? Guys, don't make me go freeze your computers. Come on, give me one problem. This is 1 and, right? Because it's improper. It's 1 and 27 hundredths. But how do I write that as a decimal? 1 and 27 hundredths. But don't do this assignment till you do the other 2. Because the other 2 are how you practice making these conversions. By the time you get to the ordering assignment, you should be comfortable with those conversions. If you're not, go do that practice again. It'll generate more problems. It'll make you more confident. If you need help, you have 2 teachers and 11 of you. Use us. You got 12 more minutes. Work on con. One of the assignments like from today, from this week. Don't go back to old stuff. Let's work on the stuff from today. Now. All right, whatever. So that's, remember that's repeating. So be careful. Like that repeating makes it kind of weird. So what are we being asked to do? It wants us to get to decimal. So did you break down 31 over 9 now? Let's go and write that down. It looks like 3 is probably the whole number. So what is 9 times 3? 9, 18, 20. The 9s are kind of weird. 9, 18, 27. So 9 times 3 is 27. What's 31 minus 27?
Oh, I was like, why?
You might have just reminded me that I should do that for the whole class. No, it was major. Hey, if you choose to ignore me, that's a choice you can make, but you got to do it quietly. Major and I were just working on this, and I realized y'all would probably appreciate if we talk about it together. So this one on your con actually gives you multiple choice. 31 ninths. How many 9s can I pull out of 31? Well, 9, 18, 27. I probably shouldn't go any higher, right? So 3 and, well, what's 31 minus 27? 4. Hey guys, I'm going to tell you this, like, I bet if you listen this one time, that'll make the rest of your life easier. If you have a 9 as your denominator, watch. If you have a 9 as your denominator, and if you don't believe me, set up long division. Set up 4 divided by 9 and watch what happens. You'll be dividing forever. You will never stop dividing. Have a great life. Or, if you learn this once, if you have a 9 as your denominator, whatever your numerator is, repeats forever. That will always, 9 as your denominator, numerator repeats. As long as your numerator is smaller than 9, but why wouldn't it be? So, when you get to this problem, if it's over 9, anything over 9 repeats that forever. Alright, keep going. You got like 7 more minutes. Oh, we should check your con progress, right? Alright, so I don't know when they checked last. Might have been yesterday. Hey, so if you care about con progress, they were at ring 43, 94%. Last time we checked, so hold on. We only need to climb up like 4 rings, right? All right, you ready to check? Let's see how much progress we've made since last time. All right, we for sure got to ring 40. All right, let's keep going. Hey, don't get too crazy. I'll turn it off. I love Timmy Trumpet. It's a great like workout song. It's a really good like. All right, 41. Guys, 2 more rings and we catch up to them. We're doing end of this week, by the way. We're doing on Friday. We'll figure out who won for the week. All right, 42. You guys think we're going to pass them?
Yeah.
They're on 43. We just got to get like 1.5 more rings. All right, here's where the rubber hits the road. If we close this ring, we're in the lead. If we close this ring, we're in the lead. 94%, I think. We got to close this ring, and then we take the lead. Boom! You're in the lead. Let's see how far we can go. Let's see how far we can take it. Ooh, we don't have the lead by much, though. Means we got to do some work. End of week. All right, let's do some work.
That's so cool. Thank you. That's so cool.
Clear all
Who done it? Shouldn't there already
I haven't.
You check now.
Yeah.
Hello, people. Welcome back.
Man, I can't remember what that video was called. Mrs. Trisha, do you remember